Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is I, Winston G. Cartman, here with my traditional Mayan mask. Why a Mayan mask, you ask? Well, great question. Because today we are going to study the fantastic geography of North, Central, and South America, otherwise known as the Americas. Let's begin, shall we? Look at this great traditional map I found. As you all know, I love maps. Out here we have the South Pacific, an ancient map even with the Sandwich Isles still labeled. However, if we come over here, we have North America, Central America, and South America. Let us begin, yes. Well, our continents are so large that we're going to have to use three maps to go through this. For North America, which is technically encompasses both what we call North and Central America, is so long that we need to have two maps for that, and we'll have a separate one for South America. However, let's begin here with what we traditionally would call North America in these three primary countries of Canada, the United States of America, and of course, our great friend Mexico, home of the Mayan people, where my traditional mask comes from, right down here in the Yucatan Peninsula. You might also notice on our map that we have some Caribbean island nations. Some of those we will absolutely be covering. But once again, we have Canada, the United States, and of course, Mexico. Now, moving south from Mexico and the United States, let's begin with our friends in the Caribbean over here. We have a few nations we're going to point out. There are many, but for this, we're just going to point out a few. We have Cuba. Oh, where's my finger going here? Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. Now, Puerto Rico is interesting. But Puerto Rico is not actually its own separate country. It's a possession of the United States. And while this image might be a bit blurry, if we actually look in real close, we can see that there's a parentheses US underneath where it says Puerto Rico. And when on a map, when we see something that says has a parentheses after the name of the place, it means it's owned by someone else. There are other examples on this map that we could see. There are places such as the US Virgin Islands. There's the Virgin Islands owned by Britain. And many of these islands out here are actually possessions of other nations, typically European nations. For in the age of what we call the age of exploration, many of these were settled by the Europeans, or the Europeans took them from the native peoples who lived there. But that's a conversation for another day, absolutely. Now let's move over here to our Central American friends. We have Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. And Panama is a fascinating little country, for it's very long. I actually call it the Isthmus of Panama, the Isthmus of Panama. And that's because it's this sort of stretch of land that connects two other land masses. But what makes Panama even more interesting is that humans, the United States, along with French allies and others, helped to dig a canal going right through the country of Panama so that ships could sail from the Caribbean to the Atlantic without having to go all the way around South America. Fascinating. So these are our countries that we're going to be focusing on this particular map. Let's find out what South America holds for us, shall we? Yes, here we are, South America. Wonderful South America. Let's begin up here with Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, so named because French Guiana is another one that if we do look a bit closely, let's see, do I see it? I do see it. I see the parentheses that says France. So that means that French Guiana is a possession of the country of France. They're what is known as a semi-autonomous possession. They have their own government, they make their own rules, but they're politically linked with France, and France is way across the ocean that way. Moving on from French Guiana, of course, we have Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Peru, home of the Inca, and Ecuador right up here. Some of you have heard of the Galapagos Islands, famous for its large turtles and rare species. It's way out here. It is actually owned by Ecuador. Ecuador. And these, my friends, are our countries. Let's have a big overview look again, shall we? Returning to our rather ancient map, we have again North America, South America, and often we take this possession here in the middle, if I can get my fingers to pinch it correctly, which I cannot, this possession here in the middle, and we often call that Central America, and we have some of our Caribbean nations out there. So again, I hope you've enjoyed our little political tour. I look forward to seeing you again, my friends. Good day and goodbye.